Awaken, divine ones. Feel the tremor in your soul, the call that refuses to be silenced. The brightest stars are not born in comfort, but forged in chaos. What if the pain you've endured, the betrayals, the humiliations, the unthinkable cruelties, were not random acts of misfortune, but deliberate strokes in a grand cosmic design? A design meant to shatter every illusion you held about yourself, so that you could be rebuilt into someone the world cannot ignore. Let this truth settle in your chest. History's most luminous figures often began their journeys in the shadows of torment. Nikola Tesla, an unacknowledged genius, ridiculed and cast aside. Harriet Tubman, hunted and dehumanized, yet unbroken. Vincent van Gogh, dismissed, mocked, and left penniless, his brilliance unseen in his lifetime. Greatness, it seems, demands a sacrifice, a brutal, unwilling surrender to forces that seem determined to annihilate you. Let's not romanticize this. What happened to you wasn't noble or poetic. It was vile, calculated cruelty designed to erase you before you even knew who you were. That wasn't just injustice. It was madness, pure and deliberate. And yet, here you stand, scarred, yes, broken maybe, but unbowed, breathing, still here, and perhaps quietly laughing, because in their twisted attempts to destroy you, they unknowingly gave you the very thing they feared most: a story that will make you unstoppable. So let's dive into it. Because if you've ever wondered whether all the suffering has meaning, hear this. They didn't try so hard to break you for nothing. It's time to uncover why. Being a chosen one is a paradox, a contradiction so profound that few will ever truly grasp it. At first glance, it sounds like a gift, a golden destiny draped in admiration and glory. But the reality? It's anything but glamorous. It's a path that isolates you, breaks you, and leaves you staring at the heavens, questioning why you were chosen at all. It's not the destination of greatness that defines you. It's the excruciating, soul-shattering journey that forces you to earn it. People see the shine, but they are blind to the shadows that birthed it. They admire your strength, resilience, and success, but they remain oblivious to the cost. They didn't see the nights when tears burned your cheeks, hollowing your chest with every sob. They weren't there for the betrayals that carved into your trust, or the silent moments when you questioned your very worth. Being chosen isn't about being the strongest. It's about enduring when everything around you is engineered to break you. It's a lonely road, too. Even the ones who love you don't fully understand. They struggle to reconcile the relentless trials you face, calling you unlucky, cursed, or simply strange. But deep down, you know there's something different about you. You don't move through life on the same wavelength as everyone else. Your struggles are too specific, too relentless, as if the universe has set its gaze upon you for something far greater than the life you're living now. The cruelest truth? All of it. Every tear, every blow, every heartbreak is leading somewhere extraordinary. You just have to survive long enough to see it. And then, there's the invisible warfare. The battles no one else can see. What was done to you wasn't just a series of random cruel actions. It was an insidious war waged on your mind, your spirit, and your sense of self. No weapons were drawn, no visible scars left behind, but the damage was as real, if not more so. People couldn't see the wounds, so they dismissed the pain. They didn't understand how deeply it cut or how relentlessly it lingered, reshaping every fragment of your identity. This war wasn't about physically destroying you. It was about breaking you in a way that left you breathing but hollow, questioning your worth. Every word, every manipulation, every betrayal was a carefully aimed strike meant to shatter your sense of self. And the worst part? It often worked. You found yourself caught in an endless loop of overthinking, blaming yourself for things you didn't cause, and wondering why you couldn't just get over it. The cruelty of this kind of warfare lies in its invisibility. On the outside, nothing seemed wrong. You smiled, showed up, and kept moving, all while silently unraveling piece by piece. People may have even praised your strength, mistaking your endurance for invincibility. But inside, it felt as though you were slowly breaking apart. And yet here's the truth they never accounted for. Even in that invisible war, you were stronger than they realized. The fact that you're still here, still fighting, is proof that, in the end, they never truly won. Envy hides in plain sight, behind smiles, small talk, and even the guise of concern. Much of what was done to you, the betrayals, manipulations, and cruelties, wasn't random. It was rooted in something far darker: envy. A sickness that drives people to destroy what they cannot possess or become. They saw something in you, a light, a resilience, a potential, that they lacked but craved deeply. It made them feel small in comparison, and rather than rising to meet their own challenges, they chose to pull you down. But envy is rarely admitted openly. Instead, it cloaks itself in criticism, sabotage, or false advice. They told you that you weren't good enough, that your dreams were foolish, or that you'd never amount to anything. Not because those words were true, but because your existence reminded them of their own insecurities, their own failure to reach for something greater. The most twisted part? Their actions weren't just an attack on what you did. They were an assault on who you are. They wanted to dim your light so they could feel more comfortable in their own darkness. And for a time, maybe they succeeded. Perhaps you shrank yourself, doubted your gifts, or tried to fit into a version of yourself that felt less threatening to them. But here's the irony. Envy consumes the one who carries it far more than the one it targets. In their obsession to break you, they blinded themselves to a simple truth. You were never their competition. You were a living example of what's possible, and that's something they'll never understand. Your light was never meant to make them comfortable. It was meant to shine. The envy they weaponized against you only serves as proof of the power you hold. The sooner you reclaim that truth, the sooner you'll step into the unstoppable force you were always destined to be. And then there are the trials, the universe's way of testing your worthiness. As cruel and senseless as these experiences may feel, they are not without purpose. The universe doesn't waste energy on random suffering. It uses it as a forge, a fire that burns away everything superficial to reveal the unbreakable essence within you. These tests aren't punishment, they are preparation. Extraordinary roles demand extraordinary strength, and that strength is not handed out freely. It is earned, carved from the chaos, and shaped by the fires of hardship. The journey is raw, brutal, and often feels profoundly unjust. The universe doesn't ask for volunteers, it chooses. And for reasons you may not yet fully understand, it chose you. It stripped away everything, leaving you with nothing but your core. The question is, who are you when all else is gone? What do you stand for when there's nothing left to hold on to? This isn't a romanticized story of triumph. It's a relentless process of being broken down and rebuilt until you become something unshakable. And while not everyone survives the process, the fact that you're still here, still fighting, is proof that you are rising above. You are proving yourself not to anyone else, but to the universe itself. When the time comes to step into the extraordinary role you were destined for, you'll finally understand why the fire was necessary. And through it all, there's the insidious gaslighting of your greatness, a strategy the world uses to keep you small. It starts early, often from those closest to you. They tell you to be humble, realistic, or grateful, not out of love, but because your magnitude unsettles them. Your potential disrupts the status quo, so they convince you it doesn't exist at all. Society rewards conformity and punishes those who dare to rise above it. When your brilliance starts to shine through your ideas, talents, or unyielding resilience, the world moves quickly to label you as arrogant, difficult, or delusional. The danger of this gaslighting lies in its ability to burrow deep into your mind. Over time, you might start to believe it. You might begin to question your abilities, shrink your dreams, or silence your truth. But deep within, when the noise quiets, you still feel it, that unextinguishable spark of greatness. It's there, waiting to be uncovered. Here's the truth the world doesn't want you to know. They wouldn't work so hard to make you doubt yourself if your potential wasn't real. The moment you embrace that reality, you become unstoppable. And that's exactly what they fear most. What you endured wasn't just cruelty. It was an assault on the very core of your humanity. It went beyond physical pain or emotional manipulation. It aimed for something far darker. They wanted to strip you of your dignity, your sense of self, and your connection to the world. It wasn't enough for them to hurt you. Their goal was to hollow you out completely, leaving behind nothing but a shell. This wasn't mere harm, it was an attempt to erase. They didn't just target your confidence or happiness, they attacked your identity. They tried to make you forget who you were, to disconnect you from your worth, to leave you questioning whether you even deserve to exist. It was in the way they dismissed your pain, ignored your voice, and reduced your existence to insignificance. Over time, this kind of dehumanization seeps into your mind. You start to see yourself through their twisted lens, small, powerless, unworthy. But here's the truth they never understood. Dehumanization only succeeds if you let it. They underestimated the resilience of the human spirit, your spirit. Yes, they stripped away comforts, love, and even hope for a time. But they could never fully erase the essence of who you are. Rising from this darkness isn't easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. Yet every step you take to reclaim your humanity is an act of rebellion against their sickness. The fact that you're still here, still fighting, is proof of their ultimate failure. They tried to erase you, but instead, you've become a living testament to the indomitable strength of the human spirit. Your resilience baffles them. It defies logic, even to those who tried their hardest to break you. They thought they had you cornered, shattered, or destroyed. They threw everything at you: manipulation, cruelty, isolation, believing you would crumble under the weight of it all. And for a moment, maybe you did. Maybe you doubted yourself, fell or stayed down longer than you wanted. But then, against all odds, you got back up. This terrifies them. Not just that you survived, but that you refused to stay broken. People who seek to destroy others act from a place of fear and weakness. They project their insecurities onto you, hoping that by breaking you, they'll feel powerful. But when you rise, stronger, wiser, more determined, it forces them to confront a truth they can't escape: their own fragility. Your resilience is a mirror that exposes their lack of it. They hate you for it, but that hatred stems from their inadequacy. They wanted to see you fail because your success highlights everything they wish to ignore about themselves. And as you thrive, their bitterness grows. They'll tell themselves you were lucky, favored, or undeserving, but deep down, they know the truth. They underestimated you. They thought they were writing your ending, but all they did was set the stage for your greatest comeback. Nothing terrifies an abuser more than realizing they never had power over you. Being chosen means being a mirror. Your very existence reflects the world around you. its strengths, its weaknesses, and the truths people try to hide. Your presence forces others to confront their fears, insecurities, and unrealized potential. It's not something you do intentionally. It's simply who you are. But for many, that reflection is too much to bear. When people look at you, they don't just see that you. They see what they're not. Your drive highlights their complacency. Your courage underscores their fear. Your resilience reminds them of their excuses. And that can feel like an attack, even when you've done nothing but exist. For those unwilling to face their own darkness, it's easier to blame you than to look inward. If they can convince themselves that you're the problem, they can avoid the uncomfortable questions about their own lives. This is why being chosen can be so isolating. The very qualities that make you special often set you apart. People misjudge, resent, and even hate you, not for anything you've done, but for the truths you reveal. Yet this is your role, your light, your calling. The world needs mirrors, even if most people don't want to look. And here's the beauty of it. For every person who rejects what they see in you, there is someone else who will be inspired. Someone who will face their reflection and use it as a catalyst for change. That's the true power of being chosen. Not just to reflect, but to ignite transformation. Your light was never meant to be hidden, no matter how uncomfortable it makes others. The world needs it. Keep the loneliness of seeing the truth. Seeing the truth is both a blessing and a curse. The deeper your trials, the sharper your vision becomes. Through pain, you've gained an unsettling clarity about people, about the lies they live to survive, and about the systems built on manipulation and control. This awareness isn't free. It exacts a heavy price. The more you see, the harder it becomes to relate to those who remain willfully blind. Most people live in comfortable illusions, avoiding harsh truths about themselves, their relationships, and the world around them. But you can't unsee what life has revealed to you. You notice the manipulations behind smiles, the fear cloaked in authority, and the selfishness masquerading as selflessness. These truths are not sought, they're simply there, glaringly obvious to someone who has endured the worst. This clarity isolates you. When you try to share what you've come to understand, others might dismiss you as cynical, paranoid, or even delusional. They resist seeing what you see because the truth is heavy, and most are not ready to carry it. So you walk alone, burdened by knowledge that separates you from the crowd. Yet this loneliness is what makes you extraordinary. Your insight turns you into a beacon, a guide for others lost in the fog. Even when they resist at first, your clarity has the power to lead them toward awakening. You didn't ask for this role, but it's yours. The isolation, as unbearable as it may feel, is a sign of your strength. The world needs people who see clearly, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, because without them, the lies would remain unchallenged, and the sickness would spread unchecked. The burden of extraordinary strength. What people often misunderstand about you is that your strength is not a gift, it's a burden. They see someone who seems to have it all together, who overcomes everything with ease. But the truth? Every ounce of your strength was forged in pain. It didn't come freely. It was carved out of suffering and scars. You didn't choose this path, it chose you. Every triumph came with its cost. Strength is romanticized, envied even, but those who admire it rarely understand its origins. True strength isn't built on ease, it's built on survival. Each time you rose from the ashes, it was because you were burned. Every victory left marks, reminders of battles fought and won, but never without consequence. The world expects you to carry this strength effortlessly, as if you're immune to breaking. But the truth is, You've been broken and pieced back together more times than you care to count. Your resilience wasn't born from privilege. It was born from necessity. You fight not because it's easy, but because you have no choice. And while others see the strength, they don't see the burden, the quiet exhaustion, the moments of doubt. Those remain hidden behind the facade of resilience. This journey wasn't one you volunteered for, yet here you are, carrying the weight of battles others have never had to face. Your strength is more than survival. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. The power of radical forgiveness. Forgiveness is a force that most will never fully understand. It's not about excusing the actions of those who hurt you or pretending the pain didn't matter. Forgiveness is about reclaiming something they tried to steal: your peace. It's an act of defiance, a radical decision to rise above the pain, not for their sake, but for your own. When you forgive, you're not letting them off the hook. You're refusing to let them control you any longer. Every ounce of hatred or bitterness you hold gives them space in your mind, shaping your thoughts and emotions long after the harm was done. Forgiveness isn't forgetting. It's confronting the pain, acknowledging the damage, and choosing to release it. It's breaking the chains they placed around your soul. This act of liberation is what makes forgiveness revolutionary. It declares that you are bigger than the pain, stronger than their cruelty, and capable of moving forward. It terrifies those who tried to destroy you because it strips them of the power they believed they held. In forgiving, you don't just survive, you become unstoppable. Your story as a catalyst for change. Your pain wasn't random. It's part of a larger, darker system, a sickness woven into society itself. The cruelty you endured isn't just personal, it's systemic, ingrained in the structures that silence, oppress, and enable harm. But here's the powerful truth. Your story is not just your own. By sharing it, you give voice to countless others who have suffered in silence. Your story, raw and unfiltered, becomes a mirror. It reflects the struggles of others and gives them permission to acknowledge their own wounds. By speaking your truth, you awaken others to the reality of their pain. Pain they may have buried deep out of shame or fear. You remind them they're not alone, and in doing so, you ignite a movement of healing and resilience. Telling your story isn't about seeking sympathy, it's about breaking the silence. It's about reclaiming your narrative and challenging the systems that thrive on secrecy and shame. Your words become a catalyst for change, sparking courage in others to rise above their own darkness. The pain you carry, forced upon you by others, becomes your choice to transform. It becomes a weapon for empowerment, both for yourself and for those who need to hear it. What was meant to destroy you has become your greatest strength. Your journey isn't just one of survival, it's one of transformation. Your story is a beacon, lighting the way for others to heal, rise, and reclaim their worth. The world may have tried to break you, but your unbreakable spirit is rewriting the narrative. The call to rise. If these words resonate with you, if you feel the weight of your own untold strength, know that you're not alone. This journey isn't just mine, it's ours. Together, we are a movement, a force of truth, resilience, and unrelenting power. Join this community. Subscribe to the channel. Let your voice add to this symphony of strength. This is a space for those who refuse to stay silent, for those who dare to rise higher than they've ever dreamed. Together, we'll break the chains, shatter the silence, and light the way for others. This is your moment. Your story is your power. Let's rise. Chosen ones, remember this: your journey has not been in vain. Every scar you carry, every tear you shed, and every moment you've doubted yourself has shaped you into the unstoppable force you are today. The world may have tried to break you, but it underestimated your resilience, your light, and your capacity to rise. As you move forward, know that your story matters. It's not just a tale of survival. It's a testament to your strength and a beacon of hope for those still finding their way. By standing in your truth, you're not just healing yourself. You're inspiring others to rise, to overcome, and to reclaim their own power. If this message resonates with you, if you feel that spark within you ready to ignite, I invite you to stay connected. Subscribe to Wisdom Warrior and share your thoughts in the comments, and join a community of like-minded souls who are on the same path of growth and transformation. Together, we are stronger. Never forget, you are more powerful than you realize, more capable than you've been told, and more loved by the universe than you can imagine. Keep shining, keep rising, and remember, you were chosen for a reason. Until next time, take care of your spirit and continue embracing your extraordinary path.